So itong abstract, this is the summary of the overall content of your research paper. Although it is the first part of your research paper, but you cannot come up or you cannot write or craft your abstract without finishing first all the contents from introduction to conclusion, because itong abstract, it's the summary of the introduction, the method, results and discussion, conclusion, and at saka recommendations. When you search for research articles in the internet, if you're going to download PDF files, first makita niyo after the title and the authors of the researchers, yung abstract yung makikita ninyo. Then after that, yung introduction. So the purpose of providing an abstract sa research article or research papers is that if I am the researcher, if I'm going to search for review of related literature and studies that I'm going to include for my research, I will just read the abstract na lang so that it will not take time for me to read all the contents, because it will consume my time on reading the whole content. So for me to scrutinize the paper quickly, I will just read the abstract na lang, because the summary of all contents are already provided, meaning the abstract will give the researchers a bird's eye view about the whole content of the research. And there are three aspects or elements of abstract: the function, rhetorical structure, at saka linguistic realization. When we say function, what's the purpose? What's the aim of the research? You need to provide the objectives in your abstract. Sa rhetorical structure naman, there's proper moves that you're going to follow when it comes to writing the abstract, so that the abstract will be organized at saka it includes all the necessary elements when it comes to providing your abstract. And linguistic realization, there are specific linguistic cues that you need to consider when it comes to writing your research abstract. And later I'm going to show you an example. So merong moves na fina-follow when it comes to writing. First is move one, introduction. Establishes context of the paper and motivates the research or discussion. Okay, when we say introduction, this move provides the context or the background of the research. What's the problem all about? What's the general observation of the researcher? And it also provides the definition of the topic that you're going to deal with. You should express the phenomenon that you want to investigate sa part na to. Next is yung purpose. It indicates purpose, thesis, or hypothesis, outlines the intention behind the paper, meaning what's the objective, what's the aim of your paper. If you're going to transform this to an interrogative sentence or interrogative form, yung tinatawag natin na statement of the problem. Then next is the method. Provides information on design, procedures, assumptions, approach, data, etc. In method, you're going to provide what's the research design of your paper. It could be qualitative ba, quantitative, descriptive. You need to establish that in your paper so that the readers will know what kind of procedure that this specific paper is being conducted. Yung steps, yung assumptions, pwede yun yung mga hypothesis ninyo. Then the product states the main findings or results, the argument, or what was accomplished. Meaning, this part reflects the results and discussion of the paper. What's the analysis according to the data that you gathered. What's the implications of the data, of the results? Ganun siya. Then the conclusion, interprets or extends results beyond scope of paper, draws inferences, points to applications or wider implications. Namang conclusion, what's the implication of the results na nasa results and discussion na part. So in conclusion, you also need to provide recommendations, suggestions, at saka summary of the results. Then next, let's move to introduction. By the way, I'm going to show you example pala. Wait, let me find. Ano, not this one. Ito. This is an example of research abstract. Ito, this part, ito yung move one, the introduction. It sets the context or the background of the research. It's about, this research is about personality traits and game design preferences. This study, kinokorrelate nila if may, what do you call that? If there's significant relationship between personality traits and game design preferences, which means that they want to know if yung personality traits ba nakaka-apekto ba, if it affects our preferences in game designs. So this is the move one. Ito namang move two. The purpose. This study is aimed at determining the influence of the personality traits or of the gamers in Davao City on their game design preference. So it reflects the purpose of the research. Gusto nila malaman if yung personality traits ba maka-affect ba sa game design preference. Then ito yung method. It provides the research framework or the theory being utilized in this research. For example, the framework of Macrae and Costa is utilized to identify the personality traits of the gamers. It also uses the framework of Unique, LeBlanc, and Zubik. So, this study, kasi dalawa yung, ano nila, yung variables nila, merong game design preference, personality traits and game design preferences. That's why they utilize two theoretical framework for this study. And then this is the result of the study. The study revealed that there is a significant relationship between personality trait, so on and so forth. Then based on the findings, ito yung conclusion na part. Tapos may keywords. What are the prominent terms being used dito sa study? Anyway, I'm going to post this example sa Schoology natin. Tapos, on Thursday, I will be meeting by group. Each group, imi-meet ko para i-discuss sa inyo kung ano yung gagawin ninyo. Ito overview pa lang kung ano yung gagawin nyo. Specific by group sa Thursday na. So next, proceed to the introduction. The introduction leads the reader from a general subject area to a particular topic of inquiry. Ito yung introduction or background of the study. It provides the context of your research. Pero mas mataas yung scope niya compared dun pinapakita sa abstract. So introduction, the whole context of the research. It establishes the scope, the context, and significance of the research being conducted by summarizing current understanding and background information about the topic, stating the purpose of the work in the form of the research problem supported by a hypothesis or a set of questions, explaining briefly the methodological approach used to examine the research problem, highlighting the potential outcomes your study can reveal, and outlining the remaining structure and organization of the paper. So basically, as what I have mentioned, introduction provides the context, the background of your paper. It also provides the problem. What's the research problem? And what's the significance? Why do you need to conduct that research? Meaning, you need to emphasize in your introduction that the phenomenon that you want to investigate is worthy to be investigated with. Summarizing the current understanding, ano yung, uh, what are the related literature being published by the experts or the authorities of the specific topic that you want to conduct? Ano yung what are the things that they agree with? Ano yung mga bagay na hindi nila di-disagree? So you need to provide that in your research introduction. You need to provide the purpose or the objective of your paper. You also need to provide the steps or procedures. It could be the research design. You can also provide the research respondents and research locale in your paper. And what's the possible outcomes of your study? Then in writing research introduction, there are specific steps. The same with dun sa research abstract, may moves na pinapalo. Dito sa research introduction, ang tawag is CARS model or create a research space. The author is si John Swales. Okay, the moves will help you write your arguments and your research introduction clearly and convincingly. So by following the steps or the moves of John Swales, you'll be able to provide a proper construction, organization of the ideas that you need to include or indicate in your research introduction. First is move one, or establishing a territory. It provides the context of the research or the necessary background. In establishing a territory, one of the basic tenets in writing research introduction, you need to contextualize. You need to provide a background. It could be what's your observation. You're going to present the topic that you want to deal with in your paper, or you want to investigate and provide related literature in a form of definition of the topic. So in move one, there are steps. Step one, claiming centrality. Convince the readers that the research about to be reported is part of a lively, significant, or well-established research area. So you need to convince your readers that the research that you're going to conduct or investigate is worthy, is established, well-established siya. Meaning there are other researchers already conducted that. It's because ano siya, it's a prominent topic that is necessary to deal with. And anyway, in this specific step in move one, you're going to emphasize that the research that you're going to conduct is important. Then move one, step two, making topic generalizations. Statements about current knowledge, practices, or phenomena in the field. So this is what I have mentioned earlier, that you can include in the introduction or in a move one, you can include the definition of the topic or phenomena that you want to deal with. So you're going to cite published works of authors, and other experts. Then step three, reviewing previous items of research. Relates what has been found on the topic and who found it. In this specific part of introduction, you're going to provide related studies. Meaning, you're going to search for studies na may similarity sa inyo, especially with the topics or sa topic or sa phenomenon na dinideal ng paper ninyo. Like for example, if you're going to study about learning styles, then you search for research articles na ina-identify or determine nila yung research nung learning styles ng kanilang research respondents. In citing the research of others, the author may use integral citation or non-integral citation. The use of different types of verbs, examples, reporting verbs such as shows or claims, and verb tenses, past, present perfect, or present varies across disciplines. So, di ba, I think I already discussed this sa last quarter. How you're going to cite the proper citation, yung sa in-text citation, yung either naka-parenthesis siya or part siya sa sentence. By the way, I will show that to you on Thursday na lang. Sabay group na meeting. And then, in terms of using verbs, kasi usually, yung mga researcher, yung experience ko before, even nung college pa ako, researchers always use na word na says. Actually, you can use other verbs, substitute or alternatives for the word for the verb says, para hindi naman siya what do you call that, monotonous yung paper ninyo, meaning pare-pareho yung verb na ginagamit when it comes to citing the author. You can use dictionaries in order to find new words that you can use when it comes to writing or citing the author. And move 2, establishing a niche. In this move, the author argues that there is an open niche in existing research, a space that needs to be filled through additional research, meaning there is a problem that is important to be filled in, meaning it's important to be addressed. And the way to address such problem is through conducting a research or mag-investigate using research. So you need to emphasize in this specific move that there is a problem that you want to solve. In establishing a niche, you need to indicate the gap. The author demonstrates that earlier research does not sufficiently address all existing questions or problems. I mean, you need to find a loophole dun sa previous studies na nakita mo. Na merong area doon, there are certain areas that are not being covered by the previous studies. Of course, there's always an area that cannot be covered by research papers. Kasi nga, in research kasi, you need to, may tinatawag na scope and delimitation of the study. Meaning, meron siyang specific area na dinideal yung paper. Tsaka may range, may scope. Meaning, there are specific variables or topics na pwede lang i-deal yung paper ninyo. Kaya meron siyang gap talaga. Next is question raising. The author asks questions about previous research, suggesting that additional research needs to be done. So after you indicate the gap or the areas that are not being addressed by previous studies, you need to ask questions in order to reinforce the loopholes that are not being addressed by the previous studies. Then continuing a tradition, the author presents the research as a useful extension of existing research. It's very important that you need to emphasize in your paper that the research that you're going to investigate is useful and pwede siya ma-duplicate yung research. Pero iba naman yung respondents, iba naman yung setting at saka context. And you can use the same do you call that? The same research instrument or the same theoretical framework, as long as we have different research respondents or contexts. Then move 3, occupying a niche. In this move, the author turns the niche established in move 2 into the research space that he or she will fill. That is, the author demonstrates how he or she will substantiate the counterclaim made, fill the gap identified, answer the questions asked, or continue the research tradition. Now, occupying a niche, this is the part of the introduction wherein you're going to provide how you're going to solve the problem or address the problem. So, meron din siyang steps, specific steps. First is outlining the purposes. The author indicates the main purpose of the current article. So, in this specific move, you're going to express what's your main objective sa pag-conduct ng paper or ng research. Then, announcing present research. The author describes the research in the current article. It's very important that you need to explain what your research is all about. Then, announcing principal findings. The author presents the main conclusions of his or her research. Although, hindi pa kayo nakakonduct ng research, hindi pa kayo nakagather ng data for your study, but you can give assumptions. How can your research can be of help? Or what's the, how can we utilize your paper? So indicating the structure of the research article, the author previews the organization of the article. So you can include this, yung methodology of research ninyo. So in writing your introduction, it's very important yung basic steps or basic knowledge na kailangan ninyo i-consider when it comes to writing the introduction. Sa move 1, you need to remember this. In move 1, establishing a territory means you're going to provide your observation. What's your observation? In move 2, what's the problem? In move 3, how can you solve the problem? So ganun lang. These are the 3 basic principles that you need to remember when it comes to writing your research introduction. Move 1, establishing territory. You need to contextualize your research. You need to provide your general observation. In move 2, establishing the niche. You're going to express the problem that you're going to solve or address in your research. And move 3, occupying a niche, are going to address problem. Okay, example. Ay, dito. Ito, background of the study. This is an example of research introduction, itong background of the study. Ito first part, ito yung move 1. With the recent advancement of innovations of the technology in the 21st century, playing games has become a top preference for individuals who are technologically inclined. So the authors of this research, they set the background or the context of their study. Tapos in this part, they provided what's the niche or what's the problem. So they provided related studies for their research. And then ito yung move 3 nila. Yung occupying the niche. So next, let's proceed to the method. Your research method depends on the question that you wish to answer and the philosophy that underpins your view of research. So sa methodology ninyo, magdepende siya sa statement of the problem ninyo. So everything is connected. Halimbawa, if your research problem is, ano lang, what are the learning styles of grade 11 students? Kapag yan lang yung research statement of the problem ninyo, so meaning, if you understand what's the proper procedure in order to answer that question, descriptive lang siya na study. Meaning, the research design that you're going to use for your study is descriptive lang siya since you're just going to describe the results of the paper. Pero kapag sinabi natin, is there a significant relationship between learning styles and academic performance? Meaning, you correlate na itong dalawang variables, yung learning styles at academic performance. Meaning, magiging descriptive correlational study na siya. But in your case, sa study na gagawin ninyo, descriptive lang, hindi na kayo mag-correlational. You just have to uh, conduct a survey, tapos i-calculate ninyo by using Excel. That's a research design. Refers to the overall strategy that you choose to integrate the different components of the study in a coherent and logical way, thereby ensuring you will effectively address the research problem. It constitutes the blueprint for the collection, measurement, and analysis of data. So research design, this is the logical structure that you need to follow when it comes to conducting your research. Your research design will dictate what are the procedures or steps that you need to follow sa pag-conduct ng research. And what is the specific statistical treatment gagawin ninyo. So generally, we have actually 3, pero dalawa lang i-represent ko sa inyo. Qualitative at saka quantitative. Yung ikatlo is combination siya, mixed method. Qualitative research is primarily exploratory research. It is used to gain an understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations. Itong qualitative research, usually, ginagamit siya if you want to describe a phenomenon. And the data that you're going to gather for this specific type of research are opinions, corpus-based na mga study, qualitative. This is the kind of research that you're going to conduct pagdating ng second quarter sa practical research 1 ninyo. Then we have quantitative research. It's used to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data or data that can be transformed into usable statistics. So in quantitative research, you're dealing with numbers. So ito yung difference nila sa qualitative. Sa qualitative, yung data ninyo, opinions ng participants ninyo, corpus-based or content analysis. Ito sa quantitative, you're dealing with numbers. Data that can be quantified or can be transformed into statistics. So this is the type of research that you're going to conduct. Quantitative research siya since magpapasurvey kayo, papakita ko this Thursday by group kung ano yung gagawin ninyo at what's the sample and how we're going to tally your data. And then the research locale, the place where you gather your research data. This is the setting of your research. Where you're going to conduct your research. So in your case, yung research locale ninyo is sa Christian Colleges of Southeast Asia. Lang yung local ninyo. Then research respondents. Yung research respondents, it refers to group of people who answer the research questionnaire in a quantitative research. Kapag sa qualitative, yung tawag is research participants. Kapag, what do you call that? I forgot the, meron kasing tinatawag din na research subject. I forgot what's the specific type of research. Kapag, I forgot. never mind na lang. Basta for research quality, for qualitative research, research participants yung term na gagamitin. Kapag quantitative, research respondents. So this is the term that you're going to use for your paper. Research respondents. So yung respondents ninyo, mga classmates nyo lang. Then we have research instrument. Our measurement tools, for example, questionnaires or scales, designed to obtain data on a topic of interest from research subjects or respondents. This is the tool that you're going to use in order to gather your data. And para ma-measure ninyo, what are the things or factors that you need to measure or indicators that you need to measure in your research? Pakita ko sa inyo example. I remember na kapag meron tayong tinatawag na qualitative research respondents, research participants, research subject. Itong research respondents for quantitative, research participants for qualitative, research subjects kapag case study yung gagawin niyo. Itong case study kasi, pwede siya isang ano lang, isang participant lang ng research niyo, kaya case study yung tinatawag. Okay, this is an example of research instrument. So ito, yung purpose ng instrument na to is to measure yung design preferences ng respondents. So merong question, statements dito tapos i-rate ng respondents. So for this research instrument, it used the 5-point Likert scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, at saka 5. Tapos may interpretation ito. And then, ito naman yung Likert scale, value allocation, description, at saka interpretation. Yung scale, range value, for example, kapag makuha niyo ang mean, pag makuha niyo ang mean nito after you obtain the data, tapos ito yung result. If yung result, like for example, dito sa statement na I like to play video games to have a leisure time or recreational activity. Kung ang value niya is 3.5, meaning malabel siya dito, 3.40 to 4.19, meaning description niya agree. Tsaka ang interpretation niya is above average. So dapat meron kayong survey instrument, ito at saka yung value allocation para sa research instrument. By the way, everything is provided na ha. Then research procedure, the process on conducting the research. So these are the steps that you need to follow when it comes to conducting a research. First is asking permission to conduct the study, since classmates nyo lang, yung respondents ninyo, you need to provide letters na in order to ask permission. Diretso na kayo sa conducting the study, analyzing, interpreting of the data, and drawing conclusion. Then, sa results and discussion, interpret and describe the significance of your findings in light of what was known about the research problem being investigated, and to explain any new understanding or insights about the problem after you've taken the findings into consideration. So sa results and discussion, this is the part in research paper wherein you're going to provide the results of the study, kung ano yung pakita ninyo sa data ninyo. You're going to provide an analysis of the results of the study, implications based dun sa results. Provide the narrative form of the table. Sa results and discussion, you're going to provide a table. It's the visual representation of the results of the study. Ito namang narrative form of the table, this is the part wherein you need to discuss what you can observe in the table that you presented. State the implications of the findings. At the last part of the results and discussion, express your overall assessment of the findings to be anchored by your main proponent's theory. So it's very important, kaya may related literature research in order to support your analysis. Your theories and other related literature and studies can be used as your safety net para solidify yung claims niyo sa paper ninyo. Then the conclusion, you need to provide a summary of findings, the conclusion, recommendation. Sa summary of findings, you need to state lang kung ano yung overall result. Sa conclusion, emphasize what's the implication of the result. And recommendation, give possible recommendations and suggestion based on the results and conclusion. And then the references. Yung references ninyo refers to the sources you have used in your research paper. All the authors that you use cited in your paper should be reflected sa references ninyo. Then you need to use the American Psychological Association style or APA, yung standardized method nila. Then appendices contains supplementary material that is not an essential part of the text itself, but which may be helpful in providing a more comprehensive understanding of the research problem. Dito sa appendices, you're going to include the research instruments na ginamit ninyo. Yun lang, yung research instrument at saka yung yun lang, research instruments that you're going to use for your study. Huwag na isali yung tally. Huwag na isali itong individual at saka general tally ha. Yung research instrument na lang. And then, last part, the curriculum vitae. Written overview of a person's experience and other qualifications for a job opportunity. Curriculum vitae, it's a part of the research paper wherein you're going to provide the basic information about yourself, mga personal information. Basically, your name, your educational attainment. You can include the awards that are given to you, the events na sinalihan ninyo. Ganun siya. And that's it. Okay, do you have questions? Clarifications? By the way, since this Thursday, I will meet you by group. Each group imi-meet ko. Although mayroon pa tayo natitirang 3 lessons for APP. We still have 3 lessons to discuss. Next week may what do you call that? Semestral break. So tingnan ko kung pre-recorded discussion na lang dun sa 3 lessons na tira or we will still meet after the semestral break. But on Thursday, hindi pa ako mag-provide ng this week yung module ninyo. Anyway, I will not require you to answer the assessment activities anymore na nasa module. Bale, you focus na lang sa ninyo sa performance task na gagawin. Pero sa OralCom, you still have to answer the assessment activities for week 6. I already posted or uploaded the module, yung PDF file sa Schoology. Pero sa APP, hindi na. Okay, other concerns?
Itong this week na assessment, sir,
what subject?
APP of Coral.
Wala na. Wala na.
Week 5, wala na to?
Ay, di. Week 5, meron pa. Pero week 6 na tayo ngayon.
Okay. Sige, sir. Thank you.
Meron pang concern? I think that's it. Basta this Thursday we'll meet you by group and then we'll discuss to you how you're going to conduct the research and provide you the materials that you'll be needing para sa research ninyo. Para may idea kayo kung paano gawin yung research na gagawin ninyo. Okay, I think that's it for our meeting. Thank you for joining our class for today, guys. I'm going to end the meeting na. Bye. Thank you.